So I have ranked each parking garage on 5 specific categories. How many parking spots does it have? How many of those parking spots are handicap parking spots? The Parkades' jumpability. How do they look? And lastly, on their unique characteristics, good and bad, that will adjust their score. And to start us off, we have this underground parking area underneath the Rockford Plaza. Now, you've probably driven past this 100 times, and there is a mission that takes place in here. The only problem is, this parking lot only has 6 parking spots. What a waste of space! You could use this space so much better. There's only six cars can park here. I know people who own more than 6 cars. Next on our list is 3 very similar parking areas. These 3 are all located underneath the freeway. We have this first one here, it's tucked away, and there's a very large homeless community here, which, if you have a fancier car, might not be the greatest place to park your vehicle, as it may stand out and might get more dirty under this parkade. The next parking lot right across the street, a wonderful fence around it, keeping it gated in, and it's very roadside, so it's much more accessible, but a few of the parking spots are taken up by rusted out shells of vehicles. And finally, we have this parking lot, which you probably didn't even know is here. You've probably been here, but you never recognized it as a parking lot. It's next to the storage units, which means you also have plenty of storage, and you could technically park a car in there, which is why it's the best out of these 3. Next on our list are these elevated parking lots. I almost didn't even want to consider these as a parkade, but they do contain an elevation change and were built strictly for parking in. They're located above the subway up in Rockford Hills, and between the 2 of them, there's only 20 parking spots. I think this space could have been utilized better if it was built for parking, but it wasn't. Now, this next parking lot is probably one you've driven by again plenty of times without really realizing it's there. The nice things about this one is there is a gun van spawn location here, and I happened to run into him. There's also the yellow markers that we all love to run over down the freeway, located at the entrance to this parkade. But the parking lot is very, very tight and features 0 handicap spots, which really knocks it down. It's nice to have these extra little benefits like the gun van and the yellow markers, but it just fell short in every other category. Again, you may have seen this lot located just north of the city center. Great location, and the spots are really wide. I mean, if your vehicle's tall, it won't fit, but the parking spots are about as wide as Costco's are. Now, this area might look like a few different parking lots. They are actually all owned by the same property owner. Plenty of entrances, but again, no handicap spots, and so they lump together. It's awkward to get from one lot to the other. Plenty of parking spots, and again, I almost didn't even want to call it a parkade. Now, this next parkade is quite unique. It's because someone's put a fucking skate park on it. That leaves your vehicle very susceptible to damage, and parking spots are more limited than they would have been. It just wouldn't be the greatest place to park your vehicle. Its location is good, but the city really needs to do something about this skate park. Maybe they should install a skate park somewhere nearby and allow this to be a parking lot. Now, this parkade is quite standard. It's near the LSPD, so your vehicle might not get stolen or broken into as much. However, that's about all it's got going for it. So it falls down here. Now, this lot is quite hidden and secretive. You've probably driven past it, but many people don't even know it's here. And their rates are pretty cheap compared to other parking lots in its area. Again, there's nothing really too fancy going on for this parking lot, but its rates and number of handicap spots being at 9 definitely help it in this ranking. Now, kind of combining the last 2 parking lots in 21st place, this one is hidden and fairly secretive with still being open, only having 1 level but still located near the LSPD, which will keep it more safe and more secure than other parking lots or parkades in this list. Now, coming into our 20th spot, we have this parking lot. It's got 2 levels with an under level here. Great location, plenty of parking spots, but if you look along this row here, you can see that if everyone's parked in this row, nobody in the back row will be able to access their vehicles or drive home. And that's just poor design. Now, this next one might come as a surprise to you. In 19th spot, it's the Diamond Casino parking garage. It's great, but the problem is you need to be a member to access it, and they don't really let you drive around down there. It's just a place to park your vehicle. Now, you might see some really nice cars down here, but 0 handicap spots is not something I'd expect from a well-known establishment like the Diamond Casino. Now, these 3 parking lots, again, are all on separate levels, but they are owned by the same owner who owns the LSC in this area. Lots of nice people come here with their cars to get them worked on, get them fixed. There is a fee to that, but again, there's no handicap spots, and apparently it's monthly parking only. Now this parking lot is one you've driven by 100 million times, I guarantee it. It's right across the street from Legion Square, giving a great location, plenty of parking spots, and some undercover parking. However, its parking spots are very tight, so if you have a larger vehicle, you just can't park here. Now, this Parkade is quite unique in the way where it has 2 ramps, and it appears to be a 2-story Parkade. However, there's only 1 floor and it's on the top. Location, again, is okay. It's located upstairs from the ammunition, but it's got nothing else going for it. Now, cracking into the top 15, in 15th place, we have the Acadia Tower. Now, if you own an office in this building, you gain access to your personal parking garage. This is one of the greatest options for parking in the downtown core. Accessibility is lacking, so it only scores in the top 15. Now in 14th place, we have the Los Santos Car Meet. You don't need to be a member to come in here. Car enthusiasts being here, they also have mechanics here and experienced people who can help you fix and modify your vehicle, but that can be very helpful if you're looking for somewhere to do that. And in 13th place, we have a really unique situation. We have this wonderful parking garage, but according to California parking laws, per every 50 parking spots, you're supposed to have 1 or 2 handicap parking spots. 41% of the parking spots in this Parkade are handicap parking spots. Many of them aren't actually in accessible locations. Like out of 156 parking spots, 42% of them? Now, this next one, plain and simple, it's a shortcut, it's hidden, it's underground, it's quite protected, and it has handicap spots. About 20%, which is more than needed, but definitely appreciated. The next parking garage is one of my personal favorites, but it didn't crack into the top 10 because it's lacking in a few major areas. This Parkade is located on the edge of a hospital. They don't have any marked prices. The fire department is right here as well, so you have plenty of access to emergency services, and it's the only Parkade in this entire quadrant of the city, which makes it very useful. However, there are 0 handicap spots. For being a hospital, I think they should have some handicap spots, as well as some more accessible spots. I also couldn't find any places that an ambulance might come out or any markings, which could pose a hazard in the event of an emergency. And this one, this Parkade, cracking into the 10th place on this list, is fantastic. We've all driven off of it. It's at the top corner of the city, and it has the best views out of all of these Parkades by a long shot. I mean, just look at it. There's plenty of parking spots here. It has great entrances and is right near a gas station. And now we get into the airport Parkades. The 2 biggest Parkades in the game. This one here has 450 parking spots. And yes, you can fit a small plane in here, which is very important being the airport. However, being the airport, the parking spots are quite expensive depending on how long you're parking here for, and they don't cut you deals. But the jumpability on this one is just horrible, as you can see here. The clip cut out, but the plane ran into the cars and exploded. Just trust me on that, okay? And this Parkade might look very, very basic in 9th place, and that's because it is. It hits the handicap requirements, it's got jumpability, it has plenty of parking spots, its location is great, and its design is exactly what you'd expect from a Parkade, giving it a nice even score across the board, which just happens to be better than those who are missing handicap spots or have poor locations or design. A similar story can be said for this parking. This parking garage is 5 stories, making it very tall with plenty of parking spots, and it's attached to the building that it's in. So having handicap parking spots on every level makes sense because there's access to the building on every level, which is great to see. And now we get into the top 5 Parkades in all of Los Santos and San Andreas in Grand Theft Auto 5. In 5th place, we have this parking garage located again near a hospital with access. And this one does have handicap spots, bumping it way up on the list. About 12% of the parking spots are handicap, and they're all located on the hospital side, which is very, very helpful for those who might be coming here for treatments, checkups, anything like that. But it also has an outdoor section for any vehicles that might be too big or too tall. If you drive a Sand King XL, it might not fit in the Parkade. And so it just hits all of the check boxes just so beautifully that it deserved to be in 5th place. And in 4th place, to start off, this Parkade costs $69 a day. Nice. Everyone has seen this parking lot. It is one of the most popular parkades in the game. Car meets here happen all the time. People get together. It has great jumps, great views. It's located really close to downtown core, and it's just great for that. But I noticed that all of the handicap placards are printed backwards, which isn't really a problem, but attention to detail could be nice. But it still had some really good features. And into the top 3, these are all parkades that you're definitely gonna know. In 3rd place, this one's very popular, located just off the freeway. It's colorful, it has great design, it has an up ramp on either side, which is always greatly appreciated for ease of access. Though it only has one entrance, it does have great jumpability from up on the 4th or 5th story. In 2nd place, we have this very broad, open parking lot. I absolutely love this one. It's got an outdoor section for oversized vehicles. You can access it from 2 different streets. It's located right across the street from the last one, with the freeway in between them, both giving us great locations. And it's very handicap friendly, having the handicap spots be near the exits and in the most ideal spots, which is fantastic to see. Personally, this is one of my favorites. And in the number 1 spot, surprisingly, is the other airport parkade. This one has great jumpability. You can jump onto and off of it. For that reason, it kind of just started scoring really well. It has great handicap spots. It just has a better ease of access than the other one. You can get on and off it very quickly. Though it is still expensive and missing spots, this tends to be the preferred parkade that most people spend time in. But there you have it, some more useless information on the best and worst parkades in Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, we've ranked islands and we've ranked parkades. What should we rank next? If you enjoyed this ranking or disagree with it, let me know what your ranking would be in the comments. And consider liking and subscribing. But until next time, I will catch you all on the flip-flop. Godsend.